Hey guys, it's me, the dude who talks, and welcome to today's video. In my last video I was talking about the bands that I was looking forward to most seeing at Damnation Festival, so I thought it would only be appropriate for me to do a video about my time at Damnation Festival this year. So for those who don't know what Damnation Festival is, it's basically an underground metal festival in Leeds. A lot of mixture of death, doom and black metal bands. This year had Opeth headlining it, also had Mayhem and bands like Crowhurst and Lord Dying, loads of bands. So yeah, I figured about talk about my experience there, so hope you enjoy it. So after Lord Dying, we got to the main stage to watch Mugwa. Really hope I got that right in the pronunciation. If I haven't, just trash me in the comments. Yeah, and I'm glad I managed to get to watch these guys. I was worried it was going to be packed in the main stage, but luckily it wasn't that bad. Yeah, really good raw, primal slab of black metal. Started off a bit okay at first in my opinion, but obviously it got much better and I was enjoying it more as they started playing. Hell, it was awesome. So yeah. Okay, so next up was a bit of a clash. Now I put a vote on for Facebook, which was between Joe Quayle and Interarma. Now you guys voted almost unanimously for Joe Quayle, but I'm kind of really sorry. I watched Interarma instead, which I'm kind of kicking myself for because I really think Joe Quayle is really diverse and watching her live is really phenomenal. But I don't know what it was. I think the stage was Interarma stage was closer, but I did really enjoy Interarma. Now I've seen them live before, and they were supporting Death Heaven, and they did this like long intro, and I was like thinking, this gonna get anywhere. Obviously it went full black metal after that, but luckily for Damnation they got right to the chase and it was like being pummeled in the face repeatedly, and which I think some of you might want to do after going against what you voted for. I do apologise. I do treasure like feedback and people who communicate on my Facebook page, but yeah, I did really enjoy Interarma. So I decided to have a little bit of a break, so I didn't watch either Primordial or Voices. I decided to go down to the pasty shop, which, you know, it's possibly some of the best pasties I've ever had. So that was possibly one of the best highlights of the festival in my opinion, having a pasty from there, well worth £4. So after that, it was time to watch another band. So I watched Birds in Row. Now, I thought these guys were going to be a bit slower, kind of more geared towards post-hardcore, but they do have a lot of like heavier stuff. But I was pleasantly surprised when they went all out for this, and I thought they weren't going to be well received. Turns out I was wrong. There was like a pit opening up. They were really good live. It was like the good dynamic between the two vocalists. One had this kind of like deeper scream and the other one had this kind of throaty shout, and yeah, it worked really well. And the vocalist had was quite charismatic and talked to the audience about stuff. Yeah, really good. Enjoyed it. So I ventured back to the main stage where I got there at least 10 minutes early for them, and it came on and I was a bit underwhelmed a little bit because I thought the sound was a little bit off for them at first. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad or anything, it just like took me out a little bit, and they played a couple too many songs from Kodama, which isn't my favourite album by them, but it was good. Obviously, they played Percy's De Lumiere. That was a really shitty translation, but that got me excited, so there was that going for it at least. But yeah, they're playing next year, so hopefully my opinion about it and Alcest will obviously change. So yeah. Alright, so festival fatigue was kicking in, and that meant Old Man Harry. So I decided to watch Vintage Caravan. My mate went off to watch Gal's Word or something, and he said he really enjoyed it. Kind of kicking myself that I didn't go watch them, but Vintage Caravan are just as good as well. But yeah, it was in that smaller stage where there's like seats there, so I was so glad about that. So me and my other friend sat down and watched it. Well, when I said watched it, it was like everyone was stood up and we just couldn't be arsed. And I think after 15 minutes, I sort of gave up. Well, my friend just tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Do you just want to have a drink at the bar?" And I just thought, yeah, that was nothing to do with Vintage Caravan. I thought that they were really good, and they are really good live. I've seen them support Blues Pills, and that was enjoyable. But I just, yeah, festival fatigue. It happens to the best of us. Sorry, Vintage Caravan. Now, there was another clash which I put to a vote on Facebook, and it was a tie between Crowhurst and Mayhem. We decided to go watch Mayhem instead because, you know, we might not get another chance to watch them. Which I'm kind of regretting now because, yeah, the sound wasn't the best, and there was a lot of people chanting, "Change the sound, change the sound." And I was like, oh. Don't get me wrong, the bits that were good were good. It was just like, it was good to see such a legendary band, but yeah, it wasn't the best. And I was talking to my mate about this the other day, and because he watched him at Bloodstock, and he said, yeah, the sound just wasn't that good there either. So yeah, I should have watched Crowhurst instead. Damn it. So the final of the Damnation band clashes, which I put to Facebook, and you guys were unanimous in saying that I should watch Venom Prism, and that's what I watched. See, I do listen to you guys, and I'm so glad I did. They really, really fucking killed it. I don't know who the vocalist is called, but man, she had such fucking good stage presence. She had like limitless energy just bouncing around the stage. This fucking hell, it was monstrously heavy. There was a pit the size of a small ocean, and there was a nice little surprise at the end with Joe Quayle, and I was like, yay! Literally, I think Joe Quayle just goes good with any music. So that was good. Really glad I got to watch Venom Prison. Okay, so it was coming to near the end of the night, and it was way past my bedtime, but I thought I'd be a bit rebellious and stay and watch Opeth. And yeah, I mentioned like in my last video that I was probably going to fall asleep if they're playing some of the newer songs, which they did. But they did like mix it up a little bit with older songs, with like, I think Harlequin Forest, which was really good. I did feel that those songs got more of a reaction than the new songs, unfortunately, for them. And I think we kind of gave up about an hour into their set, unfortunately, because, yeah, we wanted to go to the after party. I didn't hate Opeth live. I thought, yeah, it was good. It was just like, I don't know, I think the sound was still a bit rubbish there on the main stage, and I kind of thought it was a little bit boring, but yeah, he did, Mikael had a really cool hat, by the way. I thought that was really awesome. So, yeah. So, I've never been to the after parties held at Damnation Festival, so I thought I'm going to live a little, and I'm going to let my hair down, and I'm going to enjoy myself, and that's what I did. it just felt right at the end, because after a few Jaeger bombs, I was right for dancing to some of like dark wave, and that's exactly what I needed. Because to be honest, I was feeling a little bit irritated at, like, you know, like crowds and stuff where it can be like a bit overwhelming. Like someone like me, I can get quite kind of a bit anxious around big crowds of people. I like to stay back at watching bands and stuff, so it can be a bit. So it was just good for once to just like, you know what, leave it all behind, get drunk, because I was like having a headache all day, and as well as just like feeling like shit and irritated. Anyway, enough of my personal shit. After a few Jaeger bombs, I was right for dancing, and they played a lot of stuff of the new album Valediction. They also played a couple of choice tunes from Behemoth. Yeah, Behemoth. Don't know why I couldn't pronounce that. And yeah, it was really good. For some reason, some guys decided to open up a pit, and obviously I had to join in. And then I just thought, it's kind of crushing us all, and I didn't feel the need to dance anymore. But oh well, it was a pit anyway. And yeah, that was Damnation Festival. So in a nutshell, Damnation Festival, it was just as good as ever. Obviously it had its snafus with the sound system, and I read on Facebook that the security guards were being absolute arseholes as usual, not letting anyone get back in, but that's not the organisers' fault. They did do their best to address the concerns and speak to security. And yeah, my favourite bands were in the smaller stages, which was good. I think next year, if I'm going, I'm going to be checking out the smaller bands and bands that I haven't watched before, rather than just rushing to see the headliners, which, don't get me wrong, were good, but I just felt I was more interested in watching the smaller bands. So I'd like to know, did you go, and what bands you checked out and what you enjoyed about the festival? And if you liked me talking about this, please like and subscribe, or consider sharing on your Facebook or Twitter or maybe Instagram, because it really helps out. My next gig is going to be Pissed at the Breadshed in Manchester. They're doing an album launch for Hales, and you should go down if you're in the Manchester area. Honestly, that album is fucking incredible. And after that, I managed to win tickets to see Earth at Gorilla, and I finally get to see Earth, so I'm really dead chuffed about that. So, enough of me rambling on. I've been the dude who talks. You guys are fucking awesome, and I will see you guys soon. Still here. Alright, well, the video's ended, but while you're still here, I'll just let you know there's videos to the left and right of me. So, yeah, get watching if you want. Talk about cool shit like music and live stuff where I go to gigs, talk about Vinyl Hall and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, fill your boots.